Good early morning, folks. This is JT. I got my, pillow talk voice on because it's about 2 in the morning. So I can't talk loud as to where I'm going to disturb my neighbors. But this is part 3 of the video that the Lord wanted me to make. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. During part 1 and part 2, I was interrupted by a phone call. I can't remember if this happened on that call, but I know I got several of these calls later, these particular calls, where someone calls me and offer me this free vacation. In this free vacation, they tell me all they want me to do is to share the information about the vacation, share the knowledge. They just want you to just take this vacation, have a good time, and come back and talk about them. But now I just seen this video where these people are just dying on these vacation resorts, or they having all of these accidents. Yeah, I'm about to break this stuff down for you because the Lord has put it on me to share it, definitely. You get these calls offering you to go on these free vacations. My greatest advice: don't go. They tell you the vacation is free, all you have to do is pay this little port tax or whatever. Most likely you're not intended to come back from this vacation. You're intended to either be snatched away, swiped, killed, or whatever is going to happen. It is the power of God, the power of Christ that is going to cover and protect you through your walk. But if you can help it, if you don't want to go or don't go, that'll probably be a whole lot better. But I mentioned in all of my videos, Jesus is returning soon. He's returning to clean up the mess that sin has made. And this is a big, huge part of it, because there are a group of people who have an agenda, and they, you're wondering, well, before I get into that, let me just explain what happened. There's one particular lady, she went in her hotel room and she opened her 7-Up pop, realized there was no fizz in it, but she drank it, but immediately she tasted something that seemed like bleach. She spit it out immediately, but while spitting it out, she spit out a lot of blood. She just happened to survive to tell the story. Another person, they're getting killed in the hotel rooms, getting killed, drinking, eating food. People that work at the hotel rooms are hurting, hitting, and doing all of this stuff. People have no idea. They are exterminating you. They are united. It is not just one particular person at the hotel. It's possibly 98% of the whole staff. They are working an agenda, a very, very demonic agenda, to just eliminate and exterminate Americans, because Americans are under attack. There is a big group that was meant to help protect America, help save America, but they saw the money, they saw the opportunity, and they got greedy. And to do what they got to do to get power, to survive, they have to carry out those orders. So they don't own the money. The money owns them. They have had over 25 years to organize. They could smile in your face and hand you poison. Yes, they could. The reason why that she opened that fizz bottle, and saw this, or people think that, oh, as long as this hasn't been opened, it's safe. They're putting out the agenda of the elite. The elite owns everything. The food, the company, they can go all the way back to the company and put this stuff in your drinks, in your food, in your stuff there, and have you wondering what in the heck is going on? Why is this happening? How is it safe? But, how is it not safe if I have opened it and it was sealed? That's because they are running those companies, those food companies, where they make that stuff at, and they put it in your hotel room. I get these calls where they're offering and they're asking me, "Do you want to go on this vacation?" Blah blah blah, yakety yak smacky. But it's like, look, I ain't got no money. I can't afford to pay no Ford tax anyway. But and it sounds so innocent, so good. But the Americans, especially our white brother in white America, a lot of them don't have any idea what's going on because during the time that they built this whole thing, these guys were completely oblivious and asleep to what's happening. A lot of them don't even know that the country is pretty much, the government has been usurped. They don't know. I mean, they haven't been doing they haven't been doing any research. They haven't been studying. They don't know what's happening. The politics of what's really happening behind the government corruption. They have no idea that, the whole government was taken, usurped by a foreign government. That's the reason why we had a Federal Reserve System. They don't know the Federal Reserve Bank is a privately owned bank, not owned by America. They don't know the influence that the demonic occult has on the nation. And they don't know that the people who actually ran this thing, ran America, are not even here anymore. They don't know anything. I've done all of this studying and I put all of these videos out for everyone to see. But somehow everyone has, they weren't watching the videos maybe because, I've been what you call blacklisted, but I've also been um, characterly assassinated, where people wouldn't want to trust what I'm watching. But I'm going to break it down for you, because I put this together. There was a man named Alex Crowley, I believe. Crowley, he made a movie called Gray State. The occult got a hold of that movie and killed him because that movie exposed what they had planned for America. How could they do this to Americans? Well, it's because, well, while the elite were here, they ran this thing honestly. Well, as honest as they could because they were under restrictions as far as what God would allow them to do to the American people. So they ran this stuff legally. So what they needed somebody, a group of criminals who would do what they couldn't do and who would do it illegally. So they set up insurgencies everywhere. They put out all of this information. They put out all of these um, trainings, internet infrastructure. You know, the infrastructure. By the way, yeah, the infrastructure is taken. Very honest. And I went to Cisco Academy, got trained on network support, but they were in the classroom with me, and they decided that if I wasn't going to play a role with what their agenda was, then they were going to. Well, they didn't decide at that point. They were just trying to find a way to put me under control. But anyway, I ended up with some kind of charge, and this theft charge has made it very, very impossible. I mean, hindrance on me to pursue my career in the field. But people have no idea to what extent this is at. The Lord is getting ready to return. They are playing around with this beast system that is this internet system, and people just don't want to believe how real, God's word is. Every word He says is true. He's coming back soon. In Revelations 19 and 23, it says, after, Jesus returns, to usher in His millennial kingdom, the beast and the false prophet are thrown alive into the lake of fire, into the, they're thrown alive into hell, because lake of fire doesn't, exist at that point. They're cast into hell. But, they missed the part where it says they're cast alive in there, which means that these are spirits. These are wicked spirits. They're alive and they're true. So at some point, the Antichrist is a spirit that's going to inhabit a body. The beast, yeah, the beast is a spirit and it's going to inhabit something. If they're using this beast system, that's the internet, and they're putting and spreading all of this evil, then eventually they're going to give rise to this beast, to this spirit that's going to inhabit the system and come alive. And they don't see this coming. They think this is all some kind of joke. I mean, the Chaldean, what would they call it? The elite, they knew what they were doing when they picked them to do this stuff because they just don't want to believe it. But God had already said that, the kingdom was within those people who had this malice, evil, wickedness, love of money, and power in their heart, that they would bring forth the kingdom. You know, the Lord had already told them this. But they are back to the resorts. Yes, they are very, very well united. They've had years of practice, and their agenda is to take over where the elite left off. The elite had declared war on the United States a long time ago, and they were slowly um, drawing us away from the principles of Americanism by demoralizing us, by putting out all these programs. What I mean by programs, by matrixal programs, is this is explained. You need an operating system to become aware of before you can become aware of your surroundings, because you have to learn rules to become a functional member of society. And it usually takes like so many years to download all these rules. And you download all these rules pretty much just by watching what's going on around you. So this is what they mean when they say it takes a village to raise a child. They're basically the programs, because just like a computer, you need an operating system to function. A computer needs an operating system to function. The most famous operating system we know, OS, on a computer is the Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10. Without an operating system, the computers don't function. They don't have any kind of programs that tells it what it can do, what to do in certain situations, its limitations. We humans, we work the same way. We need an operating system. And the Bible gives us the biblical instructions before leaving earth. This is Jesus's gift to us. This is the